Hi, Raj Jha here, and we talk to hundreds of attorneys. And one of the consistent themes that we see is some attorneys are able to take their practices and step up to the next level, increasing the freedom of time that they have, the freedom of money that they have. So they really are able to take their practice and grow their practice, and a lot of attorneys stagnate. They get stuck somewhere and they don't grow. And what I wanted to do is share with you a synthesis of some of the attributes that we see of a practice that grows and some of the blockers that get in the way of attorneys who aren't growing their practices. And maybe by sharing this, you'll get some ideas about some of the things that might be holding your practice back, and then you can start addressing them and actually start to grow like a lot of the attorneys that we work with in our programs. And this is the B.A.R.E. model because it is the bare necessity to growing, I guess. I don't know, but in any case, the words are the acronym is B.A.R.E. because that's what the words spell. The first thing that any attorney who is actually growing their practice, and it sounds a little bit silly to say this, but it's absolutely the case, the first thing is belief. And that is a thing that you have to have. You have to actually believe that your practice can be better. And for a lot of attorneys, they see other attorneys being successful, but somehow they don't believe that it's possible. They think, oh, well, that person's situation is different, when they're not really realizing that it's not anything unique about that attorney, it's about the process that they use to get from where they are to where they want to go. So the first step is frankly believing that a different outcome is possible, because if you don't believe that a different outcome is possible, you're never going to get anywhere. And for those that get past the belief, they actually now believe that something is possible. I mean, maybe they've seen some of the success stories about folks in our program, and they now believe, okay, well, it is possible. The next step is what hangs up a lot of people, which is actually taking action. So the next thing that you need to do, if you believe it's possible, is actually take some action, right? So from belief to doing something about it, all right? And I'll talk about the blockers in a moment, but after taking action, what happens? Well, you need to get a result. So from action to result. And that's another thing that hangs folks up. They take action maybe once, and they either don't see a result because maybe they didn't take the right action, or maybe they're not sure how to look for the result. But in any case, they stop here, and they don't really get the result. And then what are the next thing that successful attorneys do? They evaluate. So evaluation. So they got a result, and then they're evaluating what's working, what's not working, how can I do better next time? And what does that do? That increases their belief about what's possible. Now, this may seem, a little airy-fairy in terms of, having to believe and then take action, result, evaluation, but that is the cycle that successful attorneys that we work with go through. Now, maybe you are at some point of, maybe you believe that things are possible, but you're not sure what to do. Or if you've taken action in the past, you've done things, maybe you've tried something in the marketing front, or you've tried to hire someone, but it hasn't worked out, and the result hasn't been what you wanted, so maybe you got stopped here. Maybe you got a result, but you didn't think critically about, well, what could have worked? How do I research how to actually do better next time? So you've never kind of gotten on this cycle. So let's talk about the blockers to this, where you might have gotten stuck. And the blockers are the 4 C's. So the first one is actually confidence. It is having the self-confidence that if you actually do take action, something will be different. All right. So for a lot of folks, it's a self-confidence issue. You don't believe that anything can be different, or that you're not up to the task of doing something different. I will tell you that once you get over that mental hurdle, this is something that, once you start on this chain, you're going to not have this problem. But really, it is a confidence issue for a lot of attorneys. We're really good at our craft of the law, but not necessarily of running a business and of making the business better. So, we see these folks from business schools or running other businesses. We think it's possible for them, but not us. So the first thing is that self-confidence issue. And then for those attorneys who get past that and they take some action, maybe they try it once, the next C that gets in the way is consistency. Which is they took action, but they took action once. So This is a very common thing, the doing it just once. And the fact of the matter is, with any kind of business growth, you can't do it once and expect to succeed. You have to master it. And that means you have to be willing to fail. Because failure shouldn't have this negative connotation of, I did something wrong. It should be a learning experience, right? Which we're going to get to here. But consistency is the next thing that trips up a lot of attorneys. Oh, I tried marketing once and it didn't work. So they don't try it again. So, well, they never get anywhere, right? Because it undermines their belief. They don't have self-confidence. They don't take action on the next thing. So the next thing is consistency. So think, has there been a situation in which you have tried something and it didn't work and you didn't try something else? And that's a situation that a lot of attorneys, when they come to us, they've tried something in the past and it, in their mind, didn't work. But it's not really that it didn't work. It didn't work that time in that situation, in that formulation of what they did. They didn't have the template for how to make the action effective. And then let's say that you take an action, maybe you've tried it a couple times and you got some results. The next C that gets in people's way is context. And that is, how do I understand this result? All right? And I'm going to use marketing as an example because we do marketing services along with our practice growth programs, and that's a very typical construct for folks. So folks have they've attempted to do some marketing. Let's say a attorney that represents consumers, and they've done a direct mail piece. And they did it once, and it didn't work. So a lot of them will retreat. A few of them will get there, and it's like, well, I'll try another thing. I'll try another thing. And the thing that they're missing is context. All right? And the context is how you interpret the result. So I got a marketing result. How do I interpret it? How do I evaluate it? So not having a context of how to think about, a mental model of how to think about the result stops a lot of attorneys dead, right? They don't know how to make this evaluation. So they just stop. Well, I got a result a few times, but I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know the next thing to do, the next action to take. So again, retreat, and that's what stops their growth, all right? And then the last piece, let's say that they have the context and then they evaluate it. The last C is clarity. And clarity is all about taking data, the information from this evaluation, and turning the data into knowledge. Because knowledge is what feeds your belief that you can do it again. And I'm being a little bit abstract here, but if you have ever taken some action, gotten a result. Again, let's use the marketing example. Maybe you did a marketing campaign, you tried it a couple times, you got some results. You kind of understand, okay, well, people tell me maybe this is good and you evaluated it, but you didn't really have clarity about how it fits into the bigger strategic picture of your firm's growth. You might have repeated a few times, but you don't have that belief that, oh, now I can do X, right? I got up the nerve, I had the self-confidence to try direct mail. I did direct mail, and I did it a couple times, I got some results. I kind of know that I should be getting this many people to my seminar. I'm just picking examples here. But then clarity, that's the piece, how do I fit it into the overall context of practice growth? Because we start on this path, and very often it's a tactic we're trying. Instead of seeing, okay, well, this tactic, and I evaluated, I ran this experiment, and I got information, and now I know how it feeds into the growth of my practice. Okay? So I want you to think about these things. Are there areas in which you don't actually believe something is true? But I'm here to tell you that it is not you. I mean, you're a smart person. You passed the bar exam, right? You're licensed to practice. You've done a lot of things. This is nothing that you can't do. If there's another attorney out there doing it, you can do it too. So then what action did you take, and were you consistent? Do you know what action to take, and were you consistent? Did you get results and analyze those results in context? Did you evaluate them and get clarity about how it fits into your strategic objectives so that you can take it to the next level and grow that campaign, that initiative in your practice? This can be done with everything else. Client satisfaction. You have to believe that you can satisfy clients enough to get more referrals. Take action. Well, what are you going to do? Are you going to do a campaign of some sort? Are you going to survey your clients before? Are you going to have the confidence to do that survey because you might get some negative feedback? Are you going to get the results from that survey? And it's going to show you how to get better. Context, do you know what you should be asking them? All right? Are you going to evaluate it? Are you going to see the results of those surveys for client satisfaction, referability, and then clarity, knowing that you can do another initiative to increase referrals that you get from the satisfaction of your clients. So this cycle can be in any aspect of your practice. So I want to challenge you to think about these, and if you are not doing this, because most attorneys are stopping somewhere here, right? Somewhere between belief and action or action and result. I want to challenge you to think through whether or not this has been hampering your practice growth. And if any of these things are blocking you, and we can help, schedule a quick meeting with our practice growth team. In just 10 minutes, we can tell you if or how we can help you, and we can help you identify where you're stopping. Because our programs, whether they be marketing programs, which essentially take care of all the experimentation, right? We've done all this across multiple practice areas in every geography, so we know what works. Or in our practice growth programs, where we give you the models that you know work, so you have the confidence. We know exactly what actions, we can tell you what actions, step by step by step. You know that the results have the context, and we give you the strategy so you complete the circle. So we have this, and we are happy to have a quick complimentary conversation with you for just 10 minutes to see if or how we can help you, and if this model can be applied to what you're facing today. So again, I hope this has been helpful to you, and that you get some insights into what might be stopping your practice from growing. So on this video, you should see a link. Just go to that link and book a quick 10-minute conversation with our practice growth team, and we'll take it from there. So thanks for joining me, and talk to you soon.